is a reading from Paul's letter to the Romans, chapter 12, verses 9 through 21. Let love be genuine. Hate what is evil. Hold fast to what is good. Love one another with mutual affection. Outdo one another in showing honor. Do not lag in zeal. Be ardent in spirit. Serve God. Rejoice in hope. Be patient in affliction. Persevere in prayer. Contribute to the needs of the saints. Pursue hospitality to strangers. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse them. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Weep with those who weep. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be arrogant, but associate with the lowly. Do not claim to be wiser than you are. Do not repay anyone evil for evil, but take thought for what is noble in the sight of all. If it is possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. Beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave room for the wrath of God, for it is written, "Vengeance is mine, I will repay," says the Lord. Instead, if your enemies are hungry, feed them. If they are thirsty, give them something to drink. For by doing this, you will heap burning coals on their heads. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good.
May God bless the reading of this word, and may the words of my mouth and the meditations of all of our hearts be pleasing in God's sight. So the Apostle Paul begins this section of chapter 12 with the exhortation to let love be genuine. And then he spends the rest of the chapter describing what this genuine love looks like. Support and honor each other. Take a stand on things. Always stand on the side of good. Rejoice with hope. Be patient in suffering. Keep praying. Give of yourself and your own resources for the needs of others. Show hospitality to strangers. Pray for those who mistreat you because of your faith. Don't curse those who mistreat you, but pray that God blesses them. Be happy with those who are happy and sad with those who are sad. Work together in positive ways. Don't be prideful and bring attention to yourself. Don't pay back a wrong with a wrong. Don't fight with one another, but try to live in peace with all. That's a tall order, especially, I think, in today's world. And these spiritual practices, and that's what they are, spiritual practices, don't come easily to any of us. But it's what we're called to do so that we can have inner peace, as well as the courage to fight for justice. Putting all of these verses into practice, empowered by grace and the Spirit's living presence, enables us to live into Paul's closing admonition and prayer. Don't be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. I'd like to think that perhaps Paul allows us to get a little perverse joy in killing our enemies with kindness. After all, feeding and caring for our enemies heaps burning coals on their heads. In other words, it makes them feel uncomfortable. When Westboro Baptist Church shows up to protest churches who welcome LGBTQ plus individuals, instead of meeting them with angry words and actions, the supportive churches often simply serve them tea and cookies with a smile. And if I understand the story correctly, folks in our own congregation provided water to protesters just outside our building. And a passerby literally left a t-shirt off her back. A t-shirt that said, "Love is love." Actions such as these not only demonstrate hospitality, but also open opportunities for spirit-filled encounters. Pride might seem like just a big, flamboyant, flashy party, but it's an opportunity for spirit-filled encounters. Love doesn't get lived out in perfect environments, but in situations where people are in conflict. And these verses encourage us to love in times of conflict, disagreements, and even oppression, to make it a part of our Christian identity, and to live out these values with humility and empathy. In essence, Paul is echoing Jesus' teachings in the Sermon on the Mount and the Sermon on the Plain. And he's echoing Jesus' teaching to love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, and pray for those who abuse you. Today's text resonates deeply with our mission as an open and affirming church within the United Church of Christ. We're called to stand in solidarity with the LGBTQIA+ community, creating safe and brave spaces where all are celebrated. In the face of hate and discrimination, we persist in our commitment to justice and love, embodying hope and resilience while extending extravagant, radical welcome. And at the same time, we continue to find ways to embrace and live out our O&A covenant, understanding that being an O&A church means more than just saying, please come join us. It means showing up where others are, because they may have been so traumatized in the name of religion or church that they have a hard time even walking through those doors. Genuine love isn't just being nice to people. Genuine love has a moral orientation toward the good of all. When we show love towards someone, we're not moving them, when we show love towards someone, we're moving them toward God's goodness. To love someone isn't simply catering to their specific likes and dislikes. It's acting toward them in ways that help them experience more of God's goodness. While bringing people from different walks of life together and loving them unconditionally came very naturally to Jesus, for us, it requires intentionality. Intentionally reaching out to those who are different, those with whom we may or may not agree, for whom their lifestyles, their lived experiences may not be our own, and getting to know them for who they are as God's beloved. In many ways, genuine love is a practical love in that it's experienced by both the self and others. It's love lived out in ways that always values others, seeking justice, forgiveness, reconciliation, and peace. And in doing so, we may simply just